Hello. Today I want to talk about computer addiction and about addiction mechanisms in brain. So actually, it is really complicated concept to explain addiction by brain mechanism because there are so many technical terms in biology. So I hope introduce these things as easy as possible. Okay. So do you guys remember that last time I introduced addictions definition? So 3C. Do you guys remember this one? Loss of control. Compulsion. Do you guys know what aversive means? Negative, just remember this. So this 3C is a key concept to understand what addiction means. So in our brain mechanism, there is a mesolimbic system. This is a kind of rewarding system. So it means if you guys do some funny things, play game or hang out with your friend, you guys feel some pleasure, right? Because of this measurement system. When you guys do some good activities, then in your brain there are many neurotransmitters comes out. So kind of dopamine, serotonin, gamma aminobutyric acid, something like that. You don't need to remember this. Just some neurotransmitters involved in this mesolimbic system. So if we don't have mesolimbic system, then we cannot feel pleasure, something high. Our mood just flat. So this is really important to understand addiction also. So usually to understand the mesolimbic system, we need to understand synapse, but we don't need to go far. So just there are a few mechanisms to feel pleasures in our brain. So like this kind of receptors. Just remember that. So the mechanism is when the neurotransmitters comes out from the synapse, there are many kinds of neurotransmitters, like this kind of things, or this, just for example. So if this neurotransmitter dock in this receptor, then we feel something happen. We can feel down or high, whatever. Or this neurotransmitter stuck in this receptor, then it has other effects. If this neurotransmitter stuck in this receptor, then nothing happened because it cannot be docked. Just, you know what I mean? So this shape. In our brain, every receptors receive only one kind of neurotransmitters. So when we some it take when you say take some drugs, drugs work. Each drugs works some in different way to stimulate our receptors. So one way is the drugs some molecular structure similar with neurotransmitters. So it disguised as a neurotransmitter, and so drugs works at docking receptors. Or sometimes drugs inhibit to reuptake these neurotransmitters. It's a little bit difficult concept, but just simple. When our brain make neurotransmitters to work properly, there are some marginal things. I mean, if just for example, we need just one neurotransmitters to work, but our brain is not mechanics, so sometimes it make us some more neurotransmitters, 2 or 3 neurotransmitters. Then when one neurotransmitter dock in this receptor, then 2 or 3 more neurotransmitters around here just, and then it reuptake. I mean, reabsorbed the origin of the place. So drugs prevent to reuptake here. So it is still here, and then it later works here. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's simple, and there's more mechanisms also. Anyway, this is the basic concept for mesolimbic system. So for addiction, we call this one is a homeostatic state. This means we want to keep stable our mood, our something biochemical balance. So this is normal state. Usually our brain keep this state because the homeostatic state. So it's high, mood high, low, high. So of course there are some up and downs like this. But averagely, the brain wants to keep this state. But when we take some drugs, make us high, then homeostasis was broken, and it goes acute high. Then when times goes, then brain wants to this high mood keep this level. So brain works, it makes low again. So it goes down. But the problem is when our moods comes here level, this level, the brain doesn't stop. Little bit more, and then it's go up again. It's this homeostatic state. The key concept of addiction is here. When our mood state down like this level, we want to make us high because we feel really low. So we take the medicine again, drugs again at this level. Then it goes up high, and it goes more lower. High, lower, like this. So this is the addiction things. So when we call this state is dependence. Without drugs, we cannot keep our moods this level. So this is the basic mechanism for addiction. So for computer addiction, it's for drugs, but since the imagining technique was developed, we can find many things in our brain works. So I want to also introduce behavior addiction. In other words, it's called impulsivity and impulse control disorder, just ICD, and substance use disorder, SUD. In the past, the psychologists and clinicians didn't think about this one. It was an addiction at the time. But when they research by brain imaging technique, they found there are so many similarities between ICD and SUD in biochemical and neurochemical. So I really hate this one, but one evidence is there are similarities between ICD and SUD. Is low level of serotonin metabolite 5 hydroxy acetic acid 5-HIAA. I don't know what that is. There are similarities between ICD and SUD in our brain. So they found, actually it's from serotonin, one of the neurotransmitter, serotonin. When serotonin is metabolized, then 5-HIAA is produced. So it is really common things. We found this low serotonin metabolites in SUD person. So when you use drugs, our 5-HIAA level is lower in our blood. But when the researchers tried to figure out ICD, they found also low level of serotonin metabolites in their blood. So also for the mesolimbic system, there are also similarities between ICD and SUD. So the clinicians and psychologists found it is also addiction. There is same mechanisms in brain. Alan. Okay, so computer addiction now. Nowadays, as you guys know, there are so many developments of computer techniques. So you can use internet anywhere, even in this classroom. So when we use computers, there are so many addictions things. So this is forget about this. The computer addiction's feature is loss of control over internet use. loss of control. And increasing involvement with internet use, comparison, and inability to stop internet use in spite of aversive consequence. Continuation despite of aversive consequence. So, researchers defined computer using could be addictive. So, usually there are a few behaviors such as significant amount of time to checking email. They use many times. Just they know that they don't have email to read, but they check again. And participate in online chat rooms. Just sit on your chairs and typing, and just spend your times without any some outcomes. Or surfing the web. Just click. You guys understand what's going on? Yeah. When the problem is, it's okay. So those behaviors okay, but the problem is they still keep doing, despite of neglect family, neglect work, neglect schoolwork, something like that. So that affects on your life. So this is computer addiction. And especially when you find some rewards on computer, then you can be more addictive. For example, you can find many interesting information, even though that is not helpful. Just, oh, this singer happened something like that, or this talent. So it wasn't helpful for your life actually. Just you can enjoy that, then that's all. But the problem is because of that behavior, you spent many times in your life, and then your life is affected by that behavior. So that's computer addiction. The problem is in your brain, addiction mechanism processed. So that's the problem without your awareness. So mechanism is really similar with drug addiction, and computer addiction is when you are when you have computer addiction, then you can spoil your life without your awareness. That's all. Thank you.